I'm Paxman Hatch from the Lindon 12th ward. So my temple story kind of begins with a recovery and a return. My temple recommend expired for about 6 years, and I had some stuff that I needed to clean up to get back. When I finally made that decision to, fully turn to the Lord and get myself prepared and ready to come back to the temple, I involved Bishop Stewart, and he was there immediately to help me. And I remember waiting to hear when I could get back to the temple, and I thought it was going to be a long time that I had to wait. And he met with the stake president, and I got a text that said, "Hey, do you want to come in to do your temple recommend interview?" And I was thinking about it as that text came, and I just felt Heavenly Father's love, that he wanted me back and that he was excited for my progress. And so, since it had been a long time in between, as I traveled to the temple, I remember seeing the spire as I came up the hill and the angel Moroni, and just feeling Heavenly Father's love welcoming me back. And I wept on my way up to the temple as I walked in and sat through the initiatories. I felt Heavenly Father's love just welcoming me home, and the power of those blessings that I had not heard for a very, very long time. And I, didn't even realize that I was serving my ancestors at the same time. But I needed those blessings. I needed physical and spiritual healing, and especially that first time back after such a drought from being to the temple. As I left the temple, an actual very, very heavy burden was lifted off my shoulders, and I was able to feel so much lighter and so much more peace. And it was a sacred experience, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. And since then, I've been able to go back many, many times to try to get that feeling in my life more. And just in the last 2 months since I've had my temple recommend, this last Wednesday, I hit my 40th name for my ancestors, and that feels really good to be able to serve. I wondered how I could serve as I came back, especially just being isolated and struggling in that way. And the temple was that answer where I really could make a difference in other people's lives, even if they're on the other side of the veil, they're waiting. I also had an experience in the temple where at the end of one of the ordinances, one of the temple workers looked me in the eye and said, "That's a very powerful promise." And I thought about what had just been said, and that I needed to learn more about my covenants, and the temple worker switched to another temple worker who came in, and then again at the exact same part, he wasn't even there. He said the exact same words after the same part of the ordinance. He said, "That's a very powerful promise." And the Spirit just hit me that I need to learn more about these covenants and these promises that I'm making, so I can better live them. And I've had experiences receiving just revelation for how I can improve my life in the temple a lot. And with some extra time on my hands, I've tried to spend as much time as I can in there because of the peace and the happiness that it brings in my life. So one of the times that I visited the temple, I got into the celestial room and just happened to see my aunt there that I hadn't seen in a while. It was more early on when I just had gotten back going, and was really feeling the peace and the love from the temple. And she told me about that new hymns for home and church, the one called Welcome Home. And we just talked about that feeling of coming home and how special that was and how dear it was to me. I was definitely feeling that and enjoying the peace and the happiness that comes from spending time in the house of the Lord. I also saw a friend that I used to work with from a very, very long time ago and early on in a job. And we both have gone through a lot of things since then. But I was able to see him in the celestial room, and he came and found me as I was on my way out and just wrapped me in a warm hug. And he told me, oh, there's no other place that I would rather see you than here in the temple. And so there was just people, you know, in my life that were welcoming me back. And then I've also made some friends that have helped me go and get back to the temple and serve with them. And I realize now that some of my friends, the ordinances they had scheduled allowed me to do all the different ordinances that are available. So I had been doing specific ones, but she helped me do baptisms and confirmations, which I hadn't done in the Mountain Timpanogos Temple. And it was just this last week that we did those, and that made it so that I was able to participate in all of the ordinances that are available there, and there was just something special about that. In his house, I've been able to feel a light and a peace that is something that I had missed in my life for a long time.